Sunmeet, I would like to thank you personally because I had my first or second session with you. Since then, the journey started, and now I may be sometimes I may stuck in between the sentence, in between the conversation. It is obvious if someone is not born with this English language, we keep on learning.
Yeah.
But
You will get
the
over
uh,
it
the
after that.
the kind of feedback I received from you and some other tutors as well,
Hmm.
that worked for me actually.
Okay.
Initially,
So good to
you told me that I should have a conversation with other tutors as well, because you get comfortable with one or two tutors, then you keep on talking to them only.
yes,
That will
yes.
not eliminate the this thing, that hesitancy to speak and all.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
worked on it, and really thankful to you.
Yes. So good to hear that. And it is very inspiring for me as well when I witness improvement. Because that means anything is possible, whatever we set our mind to. Because you're literally
Right,
exposing yourself to people who speak fluent English, and by default,
right.
you are improving yourself. Hello,
Good
Nagesh. How
evening.
are you doing? I'm talking to you after a long time. So, how has
Yeah,
it been so far?
it's good.
Okay,
Uh,
right.
yeah, till now it is going well. How about you?
Okay. I'm doing well. Good to hear that you are doing well. You are progressing with Clapingo. Did you try a lot of speakers? Because variety always helps.
Yeah, I tried a lot of people.
Mm.
I tried with
Mm.
a lot of people. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Because most, I think that's like one of the biggest challenges. Most people who hesitate to talk in English, they don't want to talk to new people again and again, right? If you made that
Yeah,
effort, I think your confidence level must have increased quite a bit by now.
yeah. You are rightly very true. Actually, yeah, in the initial phase, what I was doing, I was continuously booking with one or two classes with session with one or two tutor only. Just because
Hmm.
I was comfortable with them.
Hmm. Hmm.
So as time goes, uh, I decided to switch with other
Hmm.
tutors as well, and
Hmm.
indirectly it helps.
Hmm. It does. It really does. Gives you a sense of exposure. You start building this trust within yourself that you can talk to anyone in English. That's like the
Right.
most important thing. Yeah. All right. So, should we move on to today's session topic, or would you like to discuss something generally, something that's in the news, or anything more interesting that you might have encountered in your day-to-day life?
No, we can switch. We can go on topic. No issues.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So the topic is a little hard for me to discuss, but I think we can make it work. It's not that difficult either. But we are
Yeah.
required
Okay.
to discuss the five senses.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, we are required to discuss the five senses. And I would like to hear your opinion on which of these senses is the most important to you and which one is least important. So if you had to lose one, you think you would be able to function as usual.
Okay. Then I'll say the most important sense is sight, eyes. I think
Hmm.
for me, I'll say it's eye, because if we'll not be able to see the world
Hmm.
or see the people, then it
Hmm.
is really difficult or painful for being a human, because uh,
Hmm.
we literally enjoy the things by watching,
Hmm.
or what I
Hmm.
can say. Yeah. So eyes are one, those are most important, but we can't say that rest of the senses are not important, but yeah, eyes
Hmm.
are the one, the most
Hmm.
important thing. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, what about losing a sense? Can you consider now losing the thought of losing all the other senses one by one?
No, it is a little
I told you
difficult
it's a very challenging way.
having thought of losing the senses one by one.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, let me.
during this
Okay.
pandemic, I encountered with so many other colleagues, so many colleagues and friends as well.
Hmm.
They had COVID. Because
Hmm.
of that, they lost their taste and smell. So
Hmm. Yeah.
it was there, but this shows that if at all we lost taste or smell, then
Hmm.
it is not like that we can't live. We can survive. Yeah,
Yeah, we can see function. Life gets a little more boring. It
yeah.
probably gets
Life
a
will
little
be.
more difficult.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah,
Life will be boring, but we can cope up with that. We can run with that.
yeah, yeah. We can still survive. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted to ask you, I wanted to frame a positive question with regard to senses. So, obviously, we can, the senses are sight, sound, smell, taste, and
So
touch.
right.
Yeah, right. So, I want you to tell me which are some of the positive memories or positive experiences of your life that you have enjoyed more deeply because of these senses. So, I mean, I want you to talk about it individually. So, obviously, sight is important for you. You get to see other people, you get to see different places. But
Right.
moving on from that, or in context of all the other senses, because I think their experience is a little more subtle, right? Where the sight
Right.
delivers a clear-cut visual experience, but everything else is a little more underplayed, but it enhances our understanding of this world quite a bit.
Right.
Yeah, so.
So actually, the one I'll talk first about eyes. The
Okay.
things actually we go somewhere and we explore the place. How
Hmm.
we how our mind comes to know that this place gives me pleasure. It gives because our eyes give signal to our mind that
Yeah.
the particular scenery or particular place is so beautiful, and
Hmm.
ultimately we enjoy that moment actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
By hearing, we can say that when we listen a good music, listen to
Hmm.
music and some good songs, then we feel happy, we feel joyful or
Yeah.
happiness. Then that moment also gives us a sense of this hearing
Hmm.
and a sense of happiness.
Hmm. Right. I have a couple of things I want to add to that. I just want your input to it. So when
Okay.
it comes to hearing, you get to hear the birds chirp early in the morning. If you are visiting a
Right.
place which has a river, you can hear the sounds of the water, which is soothing. The sound of
Right.
your family members when you're working, let's say, you're doing something at
Right.
home and your family members are talking in the background. That's also a very positive, reassuring sound. So,
Right.
right? So, can you think of any other sounds that deliver a understated, like low keys, positive experience to you?
Actually, I have a child, my son. Whenever
Hmm.
I hear him, I do feel very enthusiastic and very
Hmm.
energetic. Yeah.
Yeah. And imagine if
And
you weren't able to hear that, you wouldn't be able to sense him. I mean,
yeah.
vision wouldn't be enough, right?
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I have read somewhere that the smell, that means uh, to smell something, the sense,
Hmm.
if the what I can say, the smell is having the this thing longest memory in our mind.
Yeah, it enhances the
Actually,
longevity of the memory, the staying power
yeah,
of the
longevity
memory.
of memory. Yeah, someone was telling me that if at all you are going on a trip, then you should buy a perfume of
Mm.
a different smell or a different. You should have a different fragrance of this thing perfume, and try to use that fragrance on your body or your shirt, and uh, during whole trip you just use that perfume only, and
Mm.
you after 20 years later, if you use that same this thing, if you use that
Mm.
perfume, then you'll remember that trip immediately. It has that
Wow,
much strongest
this is
memory.
that's very interesting. That's a very interesting
Yes,
idea. I mean, I like that. I'm glad you shared that. Okay, so no
yes,
wonder people get attached to certain kinds of foods because
right,
when they smell them, they think of maybe a family member, their mother or their grandmother, right? They
yeah,
have that attachment. Okay, that
right,
explains this better. Right, very
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
I I
So, what is
I,
your,
I
do you have a favorite smell? Sorry to interrupt. Do you have a favorite smell?
sorry.
Do you have a favorite smell of a natural substance, like any food item, any particular flower? Do you have a favorite smell?
Uh, if you ask me right now immediately, then I may not be able to tell you, because sometimes it doesn't come
Yeah.
in my mind, or if someone asks me uh, like that. But yeah, surely I have. And uh, as I was telling you regarding this perfume and all, I had
Mm.
just completed a trip of Uttarakhand, and
Mm.
I used a different this thing, um,
Mm.
perfume, and
Mm.
I'm sure I'll use it after few years later. A few years
Mm.
later, then surely uh, I'll have that the memory live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
apparently your memories are really important to you.
yeah, sure. Actually, it gives
Okay.
pleasure. What we do actually, we live, we never live in present. Actually, we never live in present. We live in either in past or in future.
Yes. Yeah.
Very few of
But
us, only two percent,
yes.
3%, 5%, or 10% of the population may be living in present. Otherwise, I don't think so. I don't think that everyone or more than, not more than 10% are living in present. Actually,
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But I did not realize. Now, this is another interesting fact I read somewhere that our memories are fluid. Every time we think of something, we exaggerate it a little bit. We
right,
adulterate it a little bit, either by exaggerating the positive elements or the negative elements, right?
right,
And then whatever memory we have, it isn't really the actual thing eventually after a few years. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but again, an interesting thought that when I read about it. Um, yeah. So, I mean, have you heard of Sadhguru? I don't watch his content as much, but he did say that we tend to suffer either in imagination or in memory.
I'll tell you, I am a big fan of Sadhguru actually.
Mhm. Okay.
I,
Right.
I hear him a lot, and actually, I don't know whether you follow him or not, but uh, I I follow him not only because of his spirituality, but because of his
Mhm.
English speaking skills as well. Because
Yeah.
he speaks so nicely, it
Yes.
gives a positive vibes in our
Yes.
ears. Yeah,
Yeah, he has this sense of stability about him. He speaks with
right,
a reassured confidence. No matter how much
right,
somebody challenges him, he will answer
right.
with a smile or some kind of laughter. Yeah, I
Yeah,
used to watch a few videos of him. They were primarily health related. Then I saw a couple
right,
of interviews. Again, they were mindset related.
right.
So, yeah, his content is definitely motivating. in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. Yeah.
Right.
And on that note, we have like 2 minutes left. So I think Nageshwar, you have improved quite a bit. You are sharing your thoughts very confidently. I didn't have to push you to tell me something. Whatever interesting fact was coming in your mind, you were sharing that with me. So I would just like to encourage you to keep that up, right?
Surely, surely. Sunmeet, I would like to thank you personally because I had my first or second session with you. Since then, the journey started, and now I may be sometimes I may stuck in between the sentence, in between the conversation. It is obvious if someone is not born with this English language, we keep on learning.
Yeah.
But
You will get
the uh,
over it
the
after that.
the kind of feedback I received from you and some other tutors as well,
Hmm.
that worked for me actually.
Okay.
Initially,
So good to hear.
you told me that I should have a conversation with other tutors as well because you get comfortable with one or two tutors, then you keep on talking to them only.
Yes,
That will
yes.
not eliminate the this thing, that hesitancy to speak and all.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
worked on it and really thankful to you.
Yes. So good to hear that. And it is very inspiring for me as well when I witness improvement. Because that means anything is possible, whatever we set our mind to. Because you're literally
Right,
exposing yourself to people who speak fluent English, and by default,
right,
you are improving yourself, right? So,
right,
so
right.
it's really awesome. So keep showing up and keep sharing your thoughts, Nagesh.
Sure, sure.
All right. I
All
think we
right.
are about to get cut off, so I did not want to say anything else.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
Sanmeet. Then we'll have a session. We'll
sure.
talk more.
Anytime, anytime. Bye. Have a nice evening.
Okay. Good night.
Bye.